We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the April 9th meeting of the Sayreville Board of Education. Thank you for coming. Public notice we read at the start of the meeting. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Hill, roll call, please.
Mr. Balca?
Here.
Mrs. Bacco? Here. Mrs. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. Callahan?
Here.
Mr. Esposito? Mrs. Kenny?
Here.
Ms. Rubio?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. Sayak?
Here. Can I have a motion to retire into executive session?
So moved.
By Mrs. Bloom, do I have a second? By Mrs. Rubio. Would you read the resolution, please?
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of and action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows. Personnel, including but not limited to agenda items, and a student matter. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Balca?
Yes.
Mrs. Bacco?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mrs. Kenny?
Yes.
Ms. Rubio?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Sayak?
Yes. Okay, the meeting's closed. We'll reconvene at 7:30. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the April 9th meeting of the Sayreville Board of Education. Thank you for coming. Take notice this public meeting of the Sayreville Board of Ed was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger in accordance with Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. Further, in accordance with NJSA 10:4-6-21, a copy is posted outside the Secretary's office and also filed with the Clerk of the Borough of Sayreville. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I always love having a lot of students in the audience. They recite that so well. Ms. Hill, roll call, please.
Mr. Balca?
Here.
Mrs. Bacco? Here. Mrs. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. Callahan?
Here.
Mr. Esposito?
Here.
Mrs. Kenny?
Here.
Ms. Rubio?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. Sayak?
Here. All right, could you summarize executive session for us, please?
The board discussed personnel, including but not limited to agenda items and a student matter.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to our Student Council Representatives Report. Mr. Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a busy week at the high school, and it will continue to be. Mr. Sayreville takes place this Thursday at 7, the annual event that's been happening for 13 years. This is Mr. Cifelli's last as well, so make sure to come. It's always a good event, whether you're performing in it or watching. The new NJSLA testing, which takes over for Park, also takes place this week for underclassmen and some juniors from Tuesday, today through Friday, and which gives us longer periods also for the upperclassmen. Volleyball, senior volleyball, throughout that Friday of long periods, they will do senior volleyball, and also NHS induction ceremony. The annual induction ceremony is tomorrow at 7 with the reception after in the cafeteria. The metal detectors, which have been implemented a couple weeks ago, they've been running a lot smoother. I've been hearing that they've also been a lot smoother in other places at the middle school as well. But the high school has been from even an hour wait to now at tops 5 minutes. And then the musical, The West Side Story, which was about last week, was a really big success. Everyone enjoyed it. Performances were great, and it was really entertaining, especially if you're there. And then also, spring break is just around the corner. It gives the students a chance to take a break, especially from this long week. And that's really about it going into the final 2 months of the school year.
It gives the staff also a chance,
Yeah, of course.
the principal a chance to take a break too.
Sounds like that principals were pretty busy.
Yeah. It's almost like he has 2 jobs.
Can I tell you which one I like more?
Any other questions for Mr. Lewis? And what group will you be representing when you compete in Mr. Sayreville?
Athletic training.
Athletic training, okay. Very good. All right, we'll move on to our presentations. Dr. Labby?
And as always, this is the most favorite part of our Board of Education meetings. Nothing makes me happier than seeing these amazing faces out in front of me, both our students and our parents. We can't thank you enough for taking the time on a Tuesday evening to be here tonight, because we have some truly special people that we need to take as a district the time to recognize, celebrate, and honor, because they truly are what education in Sayreville is all about. Several weeks ago we honored some of these kids, and I just want to say that having had the privilege of being in the high school for the past, going to be almost 4 months now, every day I'm impressed and inspired by all of our students, but more importantly, the students that are in here today. These children demonstrate what hard work, attention to detail, dedication, and most importantly, sacrifice is, and the success that can be gained from doing those things. And moreover, I think what impresses and inspires me most about the young people that are in this room today, not only have they achieved at the highest level, not only have they earned the respect, admiration, and appreciation of our staff and of their peers by the manner in which they have performed in the classroom. I am truly amazed at the manner in which they present themselves as young men and women. These kids not only work hard for their own success. I've witnessed these children, many of them in this classroom right now, working with other students to help them succeed, whether it's in the cafeteria, the opportunity room, the library, before school, after school. You students truly are role models, and we truly are forever grateful for all that you've done, not only for yourselves, but all the other students in this school. So for all of our students that we will be recognizing tonight, our top 10 students, our Middlesex County School Boards Association Students of the Year, our Middlesex County Secondary Principals Student of the Year, and our amazing Sayreville Middle School and Sayreville War Memorial High School cheer competition team. Please know how grateful we are for all that you do for all of our students. You truly are amazing, and you inspire us all every single day. Mr. Sayak, would you like to come up here and help us with the top 10 students?
Thank you, Dr. Labby. Okay, we need a ledge on the podium. So I want to just follow up to what Dr. Labby said and kind of apply that to the top 10 students who we're honoring here tonight. When we honor our athletes, we talk about this concept of once a bomber, always a bomber, and we attribute that to, at least in one aspect, this thing called grit, this sheer determination that is so much a part of who we are in Sayreville, the ability to overcome any obstacle, the ability to rise up, the ability to be a champion. And, our football team's motto is tougher for longer for as long as it takes. Well, a sporting event is a couple of periods, it's a couple of quarters, it's a couple of innings. When you get to be in the top 10, this is something that you've demonstrated grit to for 13 years. You've basically dedicated your entire elementary and secondary educational career to succeeding at a high level. This is not something you decide to do as a freshman. This is something that you commit to at a young age, knowing that you're going to do your homework every day, that you're going to study, that you're going to forego opportunities to go out and play with your friends, to go out and party on a Friday or a Saturday night, because you know that you can do more, you know that you can be more, and you know that you can rise to a higher level. And that really is what being a bomber is all about. So know that as we honor the top 10 students here tonight, that every single one of them has demonstrated a level of commitment, a level of character, and a level of success that distinguishes them from their peers. When I was here, the graduating class had approximately 300 students. Our classes today are over 400 students, which makes that top 10 distinction even more recognizable and more important. But beyond the work that's done in the classroom, beyond the work that these students have demonstrated in extracurricular activities, on the athletic field, in their community, as Dr. Labby indicated, every single one of them is a pillar of character, a pillar of heart, and a pillar of genuine warmth that truly is representative of what it means to be a Sayreville War Memorial High School Bonnerer. So let's call them up and let's recognize them. Starting with number 10, Sarah Turner. Congratulations, and then just wait up here because we're going to do a photo. Number 9, Lauren Gates. Number 7, which is a tie, Angela Acosta. Number 7, Sheil Shah. Congratulations. Number 6, Mark Juniman. Number 5, Ashley Mathai. Number 4, Alexander Spinder. Number 3, Alden Ordaniel. Congratulations. Number 2, Dana Coe, who is our salutatorian. And last but certainly not least, our valedictorian and number 1, John Lewis. Okay, and if we can have our top 10 come to the center, we'll do a photo with you, and I'm going to ask the board to also come out to the front. We'll do a photo with the Board of Education as well.
board members, I don't think I shared it with you, but I definitely shared it with our students. You may not know this, this was not on my resume. I, too, was a top 10 student. It was in kindergarten, and we were alphabetically ranked, but I was a top 10 student. Thank you, thank you. I'll be here all night. As I mentioned earlier, we have two very special people that we also need to recognize, honor, and celebrate for their incredible work inside the classroom and outside of the classroom, for the manner in which they have achieved at the highest level despite potentially some adversity they faced in their lives. And to help me do this, I'm going to ask Mrs. Bloom to come on up.
Can you all hear me without the microphone? We need it. Yeah, the feedback is awful. It's giving me a headache.
We need it for the video. So you want to talk?
Oh.
You guys hear the feedback that I get.
Part of the job. Okay, I'm going to explain to you, rather than read the resolution and the wherefore and the thereofs, just exactly what this is. I serve on the New Jersey School Board Board of Directors, and in cooperation with the Association of School Administrators, every year we sponsor a dinner that honors our unsung heroes. So these are students that may not have the best academics, although they might, but it is something that they have achieved or something that they have done. A lot of the students that we recognize at this dinner have physical and mental disabilities. I'm okay. And to watch these kids accept these awards and show how happy they are and how proud they are to be honored is just one of the best nights of the year. So this is our two candidates, our two awardees, honorees, nominees from Sayreville War Memorial High School. Patrick Wanasek. And Alice Mako. And we give them a nice dinner and everything. It's lovely. They get served and we go to the buffet table.
All selfies of Andrew on there. Yes. Congratulations.
I happen to know this student, and he's going to be so mad at me that I use this picture. We also are recognizing tonight, and he couldn't be here tonight because he's actually at the dinner recognizing him tonight for being the Middlesex County Secondary Principals Association Student of the Year, and that's Daniel Curria. He's one of our seniors. Please give him a big hand. So we again, just as with all of our students, we celebrate and we recognize his performance inside and outside of the classroom, and we thank him for the outstanding service that he's demonstrated to our school and our district. So congratulations to Daniel. If we cheer one more time, maybe he'll hear us over at in Edison. Speaking of cheering, oh, come on, ladies. You can do better than that. Speaking of cheering, by the way, mentioned Mrs. Bloom and Mr. Sack, we went to the theater banquet, and West Side Story broke out during the theater banquet.
Yes, it did.
That was pretty amazing. But we yet have another amazing group of young ladies that are here today, both from the middle school and the high school. You know, many times, you know, we go to our sporting events and we see these incredible young women, sometimes in the intense heat or the severe cold, cheering on our teams. And they do it in an amazing manner. In fact, we just recently had our unified sports basketball tournament, and these young ladies were all there cheering on all of our unified sports athletes, sacrificing their time, their personal time, their academic time, to cheer on, to support, to encourage another student or another group of students in this school. And ladies, we can't thank you enough for all that you do to enhance the culture and the climate of our school district. You put a smile on all of our faces. Moreover, though, we're here to celebrate your incredible accomplishments as teams, as a cheer competition team. If you do not know, our young ladies from the middle school and the high school cheer teams, competition teams, are state champions. So to help me recognize, honor, and celebrate their incredible efforts, I ask Mrs. Kenny to join me.
When Dr. Labby asked me to join him, I sort of chuckled to myself because about 40 years ago, I did a brief stint as a leprechaun cheerleader. And that was back in the time when we had to do individuals. So one cheerleader would be on the field, and she'd have to say a boy's name and then do a little thing, you know, for him. And all I could get myself together to do was like a forward roll because I could not master a cartwheel. And now 40 years later, I still can't do a cartwheel. So I am in awe of your dedication, of your athleticism, of your team spirit. You are truly remarkable in the things that you can do when you compete, when you're at games. It's to somebody who can't do a cartwheel, it's super impressive. So I commend all of you for a great job. Are you going to leave their names or is there coach?
Say a few things about the team, that would be great.
I just want to thank the parents, especially for the entire season, fall, winter, at the varsity level, for bringing your kids to practice every day, getting them there early for competitions, administration for always supporting us, and to the girls, you did a fantastic job this season. You should all be really proud of yourselves. First time in history, not going to be the last time. So congratulations.
She took my speech. Once again, thank you. Thank you to our administration who completely supports us. Anything we need, you're really there for us, as well as our parents. Getting them there once again at 6 a.m., rushing them there, calling parents, hey, where are they? Getting them on the bus. Just thank you. Thank you for everything that you guys do as well. And of course, to our athletes. They're great too.
Yasmin Agostini. Lauren Alcacid. Caitlin Barbosa. Emily Calantoni. Alani Crump. Kayla Demella. Jillian Green. Caroline Kaiser. Caroline Konyarski. Elise Lerner. Amanda Lessie. Sungal McCauley. Madison Miller. Amanda Mazden. Alyssa Mulliken. Haley Redding. Jessica Redding. Gabby Titone. Brielle Trinidad. Krista Winkler. Jana Rubo. And Nina Zurich.
And Coach Sarah Kransky. And Miss Hadley, who is not here. She's on maternity. Seems to be in the water. Yeah, it is going to be awkward. Just stand there. You'll be fine. Just go. Have fun. It'll be great.
Mrs. Kenny, you can get in.
Do the cartwheel. Do the cartwheel.
We only got a couple
Right
more
in
of
front.
these, John? Just a couple more of these. Who's taking over for you, do you know? When does that happen? And you're
And now for one.
here like for the last one?
This is now for our wonderful middle school team. Amaris Ailman, Cadence Barton. I know they're not here. Rachel Cruz. They all had hard comments. Liliana DeCunha.
How's what by the best?
Danielle DeCarlo Newsom. Stephanie De Oliveira. Madison Doherty. Congratulations. Christina Fritz. Jasmine Gonzalez. Emma Hochran. Maya Jackson. Jaden Kaiser. Lacey Kent. Sarah Lorenz. Abigail Lukey. Jaden Mann. Crystal Morgata. Aaliyah Mason. Alicia Miller. Oh, no. Emma Milne. Isabella Negron. No problem, Isabella. Alyssa Palanca. Leah Pavlik. Gianna Pesci. Kaylee Pesci. Kylie Teschler. Sarah Torino. Oh, hey, Sarah. Hey. Yeah, could you stand here? Okay. And Megan Zori.
And Coach Lynch. Yay! Can I get a picture of those for them to bring them in? All right.
Oh my God, they're so cute.
girls' sports?
Yeah,
Which one?
track. Track. I was a girls throwers. That was it.
I did girls swimming, boys and girls swimming.
Oh, okay.
At the same time. Two different coaching styles.
That's
You gotta go to one and split. You gotta split.
yeah. It was funny because at the time when I was taking over, it was just funny. That job had opened up more and we both kind of enjoyed like the coaches was doing well. I was there. She was there today. Just to tell you, but I tell you, it was different teachers. Different thing. Like the time. By the end of the year, I should have freshmen. Also, but like their peak is he's standing up for the years. Not for long. Hopefully he's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How are you? Good. Good to see you. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Good seeing you as well. I got the best job in the world. There's no reason not to smile. Thank you. I will. Thanks.
Bruce. How's it going? Excellent.
Lacrosse, baby.
Hey, Thursday night. We got the kids gonna be around for Thursday. We got the. It's gonna be right. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, good. How you doing? That's all right. How's it going? Okay. That's nice. National championship on level, state championship. That's all right. Can't beat that, right? Yep. I see you, John. You got it.
Is she staying?
Oh, look, I have two boys. So I knew quite a few of them today. He's related to her.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to resume in 2 minutes with an exciting library presentation. If you'd like to stay, please take your seats.
Oh, if we don't, we can just go? Oh, you meant them? Oh, you meant them. We're done?
All right. Okay, we're going to proceed with our meeting. If you'd like to stay for the library presentation, you are more than welcome.
Otherwise, get out.
Thank you, Mr. Sayak. As you all know or should know, April is National Library Month. And of course, we have some pretty amazing media specialists in our district. And as they did last year, they're here to make another presentation to you on National Library Month about all the amazing things that they are doing this year and are looking forward to doing in the future in our media centers to promote the success of all of our students at the elementary school, SAMSO, the middle school, and of course the high school. So I hand the baton off to our supervisor of professional development and our media specialist, Ms. Nina Oberg.
Good evening, everyone. As a former reading and English teacher, I've had the good fortune of working with a number of very talented media specialists who showed me the impact that a librarian can have on a school. Standing with me today are two of them. What we do here in Sayreville is amazing, and we would like to take a moment to celebrate this month with you by showing you what is done not only in our individual buildings, but the changing role of a library media specialist in 2019.
A recent survey of first-year college students found that 75% have no idea how to locate articles and resources they need for their research. And 60% don't verify the accuracy or reliability of the information they find. This is a huge problem that affects the future success of our students, and the solution is found in our school libraries. Today's school libraries, staffed by state-certified school librarians, are quickly transforming into digital learning centers. They are designed to equip students with the skills they need to succeed in a world that is becoming more global and hyper-connected. While the internet may be saturated with information, a web search simply cannot replace the skills and experience of a school librarian. School librarians, also known as school library media specialists, teach critical thinking and independent learning skills that go far beyond fact-finding. They also nurture the emotional development of students and play a big role in developing their social, interpersonal, and communication skills. Studies show that students with access to well-funded school libraries score much higher on standardized tests. School librarians also offer a cost-effective approach to the professional development of a school's faculty and staff through one-to-one or group interaction. Today's school libraries and their certified staff librarians have a huge influence on the educational quality of a school and are critical to student achievement and success. How does your school library stack up? To learn more about how to support your local school library, go to www.njasl.org.
I was going to try this microphone. Is it on? Yep. Okay, great. I'm Pam Gunter. I am the librarian at Arlen.
Dynamic learning space that goes well beyond the school library wall. It's also a space that's
Sorry. As I was saying, I'm Pam Gunter. I'm the librarian at Arlen, and I'm sure you're wondering about my appearance tonight with the cape and all. Today was Superhero Day at Arlen School, and although I brought a change of clothes to look more professional, I thought that this might be a better way to illustrate the multiple roles that we librarians play every day in our profession. Several of you have known me as, in the guise of a very famous cat, and today I represent the League of Extraordinary Librarians. As you can see from the graphic on the screen, and Mr. Esposito was kind enough to pass one out to each of you, school librarians nurture reading, teach technology and information literacy, collaborate with students, teachers, parents, and the community, coordinate programs, design curriculum, facilitate professional learning, and specialize in information resources. Certified school librarians are a district's biggest bargain. So we appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today on behalf of all of our district librarians or media specialists. And I was very pleased to see an article in the recent NJEA review by Christina Cucci, who is the president of NJSL, which sponsored that video and this graphic. And she said that the New Jersey State Board of Education will again proclaim April as School Library Month at their meeting later this month. So we hope that initiatives like these and support from people like you will help us to pass legislation in the state that will mandate a certified school librarian in every school, as well as an information curriculum. So I'm starting because I represent the elementary librarians, and we feel that we build the foundation for all that students will later learn and achieve. In kindergarten, we start with the very basics, how to take care of your books, and how to be responsible for shared community resources. I offer my students a responsibility certificate, so they're motivated to bring their book back each week by getting a sticker. And if they bring their books back every week for the month, they get a gold star and the opportunity to take out 2 books, which is a big incentive at that age. We teach basic technology. We found in the past few years we had to start with basic mouse skills because all of their experience as preschoolers is with touch screens. So that was one of the things that has changed over the past few years. We start them on introductory keyboarding with 2 hands, and we teach a lot of literacy, incorporating stories into a lot of the work that we do with them, and help them see connections between literature and technology. In first grade, we reinforce that. We begin to teach library organization and focus on selecting books that are just right for them. We teach them the 5-finger rule, which helps them to select books for themselves. And basically that is read 1 page of a book, and if you have up 1 or 2 fingers, it's probably just right. If you have up 3 or 4 or 5, it might be a little too hard just now. Try it a few months down the road. And if you have no fingers up, that means you read every word on the page fluently. It might be a little too easy. But we do encourage reading for pleasure, and that's one of the big things that we do. Grades 2 and 3, we work more on research and skills along those lines. So one of the things I decided this year was to focus on technology, which is one of the things that we teach the most. And nobody could explain to me what the internet was. So I sat my students in a circle and gave them a ball of yarn, and the first person held on to the end. And while they couldn't explain what the internet was, they could tell me all the things they do on it. So they held the yarn and passed it back and forth around the circle as they each told me something that they use the internet for. And when we finished, I asked them to look at what we created, and they said, a web. So I said, this one person holding one piece of yarn, are you connected to the person you threw the yarn to? And they said, yes. I said, are you connected to anyone else in the circle? And they said, no. I said, think about it. And they started to realize, yes, they were. So I explained to them that this was a way to imagine what the internet was like, a series of connections between a lot of people that maybe they couldn't all see, and maybe they didn't all know, but it was a good lead-in to internet safety, which we spend a lot of time on. Third grade this year are going to research technology, past, present, and future, and we're hoping to have a little technology fair where we can bring in some old technology, like my old typewriter, maybe a film strip projector, record players, things that they aren't familiar with, but are very common to us, just to give them a chance to see where today's technology has come from and try something out. One of the other things that we did this year for the first time was Skype in the classroom with Cressida Cowell, the author of How to Train Your Dragon, and the kids loved it. It was a video, well, it was a live video feed, and one of the classes was inspired so much by this that their teacher gave them journals when they got back to the classroom, and they haven't put them down since. They bring them to my class every week and beg to have time to read what they've written. And last week, we had somebody share a story, somebody shared a poem, somebody else shared a drawing, and one girl got up, and you can tell I'm nervous speaking to you. She sang a song that she wrote in front of her whole class. And that's something I could never have done. So it's inspiring them with their creativity and motivating them to do things beyond what they're doing in the classroom. Wilson School is currently doing a web quest on amazing women. Truman's publishing books on superheroes and has also done stop-motion animation projects. And at Eisenhower, Mrs. Cardillo is working with the other specials teachers to incorporate the responsive classroom techniques into her class. So she greets everyone at the door with high fives or fist bumps, and she breaks out into spontaneous dancing during her classes. The Wilson, Eisenhower, and Arleth librarians have also just published their first newsletters as part of our PLC, and we will continue to do three newsletters a year to keep our communities and our district informed about what we're doing in our libraries. We also work very closely with the Sayreville Public Library, and Hannah Lee, the children's librarian, has attended some of our meetings, and we're working with her on trying to motivate the kids for summer reading, because the numbers of active participants has dropped, both here and at the public library over the past few years. So we love what we do. We cannot do it without your support, and we thank you for including us in the high school co-op student work program, because they are invaluable to what we do, and as much as parent volunteers that some of us are fortunate to have. So thank you very much, and I will pass the baton to Lori.
Hi, my name's Lori Dobrinsky. I am the lucky person to be the middle school school media library specialist. A lot of things that happen at the middle school have to do with collaboration. If it isn't collaborating with the teachers, and I'm very blessed. I have a lot of wonderful teachers who come down to see me, who bring the kids down, and we can do a lot of great programs. This year I really tried to reach out to other subject areas, not just our language arts. I've done lessons with health classes, with science, social studies. Very lucky I have a great administration who really is pushing for our makerspace in the library. Our principal is really pushing to have a makerspace where our middle school students can go and use the critical thinking skills and problem solving skills, help them with a foundation for when they head into high school. Some of the fun stuff that we do, we are right in the middle of our March Madness book bracket, which is our final four was today. Our last two is tomorrow, so we'll find out who our winner is. It's between Harry Potter and Wonder. So over 400 students voted, filled out the brackets. It's been a lot of fun. We have a lot of great prizes that are donated. So it's been a great time. One of the fun things I just want to tell you that happens in the fall is one of our teachers, Mrs. Bellotti, her class wrote to one of the authors for a book that they read. It's called On the Day I Died by Candace Fleming. And when I met Candace Fleming at NJZL, the library conference, I said, hi, I'm Lori Dobrinsky, I'm from Sayreville Middle School, and she exclaimed, I know Sayreville Middle School. I have all these letters and drawings from these students in Lori Bellotti's class. And she started to name the kids. Oh, I got this from Haley, or this came from Sarah. And then when I went back and I told the kids this, they were just beyond excited. I had a picture with her, and then Candace Fleming ended up sending her a 9-page handwritten letter to the students. So it was a real big connection for them, the power of words, that, reaching out to somebody, and it really was a special connection with that group. So we're starting with our research skills, getting our foundation, going over databases, getting them ready for when they go into high school, because it's such an important part to be able to be prepared for college, for the job field, for lucky. I have a great support system at the middle school between the teachers and administration, so very lucky. Thank you.
Mary Desmond really wanted to be here tonight and couldn't, so this is her first year at the high school. She just wanted me to share a couple of things that she's been working on. She has formed a library council with over 30 students who volunteer their time during lunch to help shelf books and do other projects in the library. She works with a couple of our MD classes who come in one period a week to complete tasks in the library, keep it looking nice. She acts as the first line of defense for assisting teachers and students with tech problems. She's been working on sharing resources with the teachers as well as instructions on how to use the resources. She's been doing a lot of collaboration with teachers. So in the video that you saw, the first thing was the research. Kids don't know how to find the research. They don't know how to make sure it's accurate. She's really taking a leadership role in that area, not only working with ELA teachers, but with science and history and art, especially those departments. We're very lucky to have her at the high school. The truth is, with media specialists, a solid, strong media specialist makes the library the heart of the building, and we have that in several of our buildings, and we're very lucky. Thank you for your support, as always.
Mr. Sayak, that concludes our presentations for this evening.
All right, thank you, Dr. Labby. I also want to thank our school librarians for all of your work and the work that you do. I love the comment about a good library media specialist makes the library the heart of the school building. I know I've been at Arlith for just as one example. I know the mail system that you set up over there with all the different hallways all named for a mail delivery system. I know your work as the cat in the hat. Love the comment about the maker spaces and moving in that direction at the middle school. I think in this day and age, probably the most important thing that you do is help educate our children to be able to discern fact from fiction, or as we call it, fake news. I see so many adults who on Facebook, just because somebody posted something, will take it and propagate it even though it is completely false. And I think if we can educate our children today in our schools the difference between fact and fiction and how to verify a source and what type of unconscious or inherent bias may be present by a person who's posting certain information, that will make them much better consumers of that information and much better decision makers in our society. So thank you so much for the work that you do. Okay, we're going to move on to our district highlights. More recognition to follow. Mr. Esposito, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Okay, congratulations. Let me see if I can get this a little louder. Congratulations to the two Sayreville War Memorial High School students, Patrick Lawenzak, grade 12, and Alice Mako, once again for being chosen the MCASA and MCSBA Middlesex County Association School Administrators County School Boards Association Students of the Year. One more shout out to them. Congratulations once again to our middle school and high school state championship cheer teams. Sayreville High School student Andrew LaMonica, a student of Mrs. Moises, I believe?
Yep.
Moises?
Yep.
Jewelry and metalworking class, was recently granted a National Gold Medal Award from the Alliance for Young Artists and Writers. So congratulations, Andrew, great job. Congratulations and bravo to the Theater Society for their impressive production of West Side Story. I heard amazing things about them. I bought tickets but was unable to attend, and everyone who was there said it was amazing. Sold out both shows, so thank you to everyone involved for their hard work, dedication, and enthusiasm. Finally, thank you, Mr. Nasta and Dr. DeFina, Mr. Ivy, and all of the Unified Sports Advisors for a successful Unified March Madness basketball tournament. And a special thank you to our high school and middle school cheerleaders for cheering on all the student athletes. Let's see, I think I got one other thing. Arlith Elementary School celebrated World Down Syndrome Day on March 21st. Students dressed in blue and yellow To show their support and spread awareness this week, they participated in a wellness week. Staff and students participated in activities that promoted health and wellness, and it was an amazing week from what I understand. One other item, Truman School received a visit from Lieutenant Von Gotten, an officer of the nuclear submarine USS Dakota. Students had been sending letters to Mr. Von Gotten, an alum of Truman School, and Mr. Von Gotten thanked everyone with a proclamation from the crew of the USS Dakota in gratitude of their support. It's pretty cool, and that's all we got.
Oh, we missed the graphic illustration.
Oh, we missed one.
Top one on the second page, Anthony. Got it, the graphic illustration, the logo?
Yeah, congratulations to Patrick Pasung for having his graphic illustration selected as the new logo for Sayreville. That's an incredible accomplishment. I did miss that one. I apologize. Thank you, Mrs. Bloom. Good job.
I got my eye on it.
Very good. Thank you. Congratulations to all those who are mentioned. Under correspondence, we've got the technology work order reports, the maintenance work order reports. Just a quick question. Do those reports still add value to the board? I know now we've got a laser printer report. Is that something the board still needs, or is there a better way maybe we can present that information? Does anybody? It doesn't really seem to add value for me. That's what I'm just trying to figure out if anybody else.
Nope.
All right, so I think we can kill those reports going forward.
Correspondence?
Yeah, but also on the portal, we're generating them. I really don't need to know what laser printers were fixed. Don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative that they're being fixed. We don't need to generate the report. We can.
How about the maintenance report too? No longer?
Maintenance work orders.
No.
All right, you got it?
Listen, if there's an alternative report, maybe that would show, the stuff that's open or pending or something in a simpler fashion, number of work orders. A summarized board level format I think would be welcome, but I don't think we need all the detail.
What we'll do is we'll remove those for now, and if you feel like you want something else, then you just let us know and we'll provide that to you.
Okay, perfect. That saves somebody a job. All right, we'll move on to approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular and executive session on March 19th?
So moved.
By Mrs. Bloom, do I have a second? Second. By Mr. Callahan. Any remarks on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call to approve the minutes.
Mr. Balca?
Yes.
Mrs. Bacco?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mrs. Kenny?
Yes.
Ms. Rubio?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Syed?
Yes. Dr. Labby, turning it over to you for your superintendent's report.
Beginning with number 12 on Vision 2030 Finance and Infrastructure, we're asking you to approve our new surveillance cameras. That would be round one of our new surveillance cameras, correct? Oh, round two, thank you, Mr. Glock-Malloy. You can find that on page 3. Also, we've been talking about this for quite some time. We're asking you for number 13, which can also be found on page 3, to approve the purchase of our student identification cards for the middle school and high school. We're real excited about that. And numbers 14 and 15, we're asking you to first approve the construction of the new track, and we're also asking you to approve the withdrawal of $100,169 from capital reserve in order to fund the full cost of the track replacement. You can find that as well on page 3. Moving along to number 21, as well as number 22, and I think on the addendum we also have another very, very generous donation. So let's begin with, once again, DuPont Electronics and Imaging, which you can find on page 4, number 21. They're going to provide us with a donation to send teachers to the National Science Conference in St. Louis. We greatly thank them for that. They are incredible community partners with us. Also, speaking of community partners, the Wilson School PTO is at it once again with another very generous donation of 3 giant-sized checkerboard mats. Number 20, I'm going to skip down to number 34, which you can find in the addendum. We're also asking you to accept a very generous donation from the Sayreville Police Benevolence Association, local number 98, in the amount of $1,500. They're actually paying the admission fees for our students and staff members to attend Autism Day at Six Flags Great Adventure. So we can't thank we can't thank them enough, all of these incredible community partners, for everything they do to promote the success of our students. And finally, number 23 on finance and infrastructure, which you can find on page 4. We're asking you to approve a contract with New Jersey Center for Teaching. It'll provide teaching and learning curricula and course materials for our new AP Computer Science program that we recently got a grant for. Any questions on Vision 2030 finance and infrastructure?
Go ahead.
On the bill list, A number 6, I'm going to abstain on check number 146276. It's the Borough of Sayreville check.
Can you repeat the number? I'm sorry.
146276.
Okay.
And Ms. Hill, I'm going to abstain on the 2 checks for Premier Printing Solutions and CME Associates.
Okay.
And Ms. Kenny.
I have 2 questions. The track renovations, when will they begin?
We're actually looking to begin them, if you don't mind me jumping in there, Ms. Hill, when we get back from Memorial Day.
So will they affect graduation in any way?
That's why we're doing it then. So it's a several-step process. So the first step is to remove the old track and to fix some of the sinkholes and so forth around it. So we hope to get all that done before they actually start the process of installing the new track, which would require a
So
curing
time,
phase.
Yeah, so the asphalt will be down, but not the actual track.
So I believe the asphalt first and then the concrete goes and that's to be
There's
cured?
no, it's just asphalt.
Just asphalt? So we're hoping to get step 1 done prior to graduation so that we can still traverse over it. But then after graduation, we will begin step 2, which will then require no one to be on that track.
Okay, because I thought that I don't know if it was the bid or whatever it was I read, said something about like May through August, so that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, well, the hope is, I mean, I saw Ms. Badami making a lunge forward to the microphone. If you have anything you want to jump in with Ms. Badami, feel free. But the goal is to make sure that we get the track done prior to August 1st, because at that point, you have our soccer team, you have our football team, and even our field hockey team, they're going to be using that facility, so they can't be traversing over it while it's still in that curing phase.
And the area will look representable for graduation with people taking photos and...
Despite boulders and things like that, yeah.
Equipment.
Yeah.
Backhoes.
Fragments of rock, yeah, I mean.
If we could sweep all that up...
That should be okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, you may find yourself having a 3rd job of, cleaning up out there as well.
Sign me up.
And then my other question was just about number 12, the cameras. Are they like hallway cameras in schools? Page 3, number 12.
Please follow along.
So,
Those are cameras for in and outside the schools,
all the schools.
all the schools.
Dr. Labby, along with the question on the track, can I just say, I know we discussed this at some point, having those signs put up saying, to stay off the field and the track. Have we moved forward with getting those done? Especially now that we're going to have the new track. I mean, we don't want people who are not authorized to be on the field, we don't want them on the track either, so.
I don't see Mr. Comensberger now, but
Oh, there he
He's
is.
here.
Mr. Comensberger, do we order those signs yet? Oh,
Yeah, because at that point, I think we
yeah,
did this, I think we
we
did this.
stalled at that one point in terms of the board. We need to determine the exact language that we want to use. Maybe if that's something that the board would assign to governance, we could come up with the language
Yeah, because
that we would use on those signs.
if I remember, we did discuss that we would like to see that open to the public at times in the evening as far as walking on the track. And, I know we did
Right,
have
but
that
we-
discussion.
Agreed,
And I
but-
think that would be
But we've already amended our policy for that purpose. Does that language not provide you the information you need?
I think what we're trying to come up with, never mind. We'll go ahead and start the process.
If you need me, call me, but I think if you look at the policy that we
I'm
adopted...
pretty
it's
sure we know
probably-
what language to use in terms of making sure that there are no organized groups on in that facility unless they have a permit.
Correct.
And that individual residents are not permitted to use it while there are school functions or paid patron activities going on.
Right.
So we'll come up with the language for the signs.
You might want to condense that, but yes.
Well, hence the problem.
Got it.
That was what we
8.5.
were discussing, what to put on a sign when you can't put that much information on
I
a
would
sign.
suggest if you draft it, just send an email to the policy committee. We can probably give you a verbal approval through,
I'm-
written approval through.
Right now, I'm leaning toward keep off the premises.
Friendly but firm.
We'll figure it out.
You could always go with the old warning, which was no trespassing except by written permission. Just think about that for a second. Anything else under finance and infrastructure?
No.
Okay, next.
So moving along to student achievement, we're asking you to approve the resolutions recognizing, honoring, and commending our top 10 students, as well as our Middlesex County Association of School Administrators, Middlesex County School Boards Association, as well as Middlesex County Secondary Principals Association Students of the Year. And we also have some co-curricular trips and activities for you to approve as well. Any questions on student achievement? Seeing none. For governance, we're asking you to...
Mrs. Kenny, you had a question?
Oh, sorry.
I think I may have lost my place, but did you say trips? Did you say?
I might have said trips, but it could just be activities that are there.
Okay.
That's normally what I have on my slide, but
No.
just activities?
I don't know. I was on building and grounds there for a second, so I was going in order by page, so I missed.
No,
I just lost my spot.
We're on
there.
11, page 11.
Right, so we skipped, okay. Well, how about I ask the question if
Yeah, I
it's
was
not the
just
right
gonna
time
say,
to
yeah,
tell
just
me. Page 6, I just, out of curiosity, for G, I'm just wondering what a mattress fundraiser is? Is that actually
They sell
a sale of
mattresses.
mattresses?
Yeah,
No, really?
yeah,
I
it's
just
actually
didn't-
very
oh,
effective.
okay.
And you're right, the 5 and 6 are just activities.
Okay.
Fourth grade orientation and the Truman Science Fair.
And then page 9 is where the trips start. And I just had a comment about those.
Those would be under finance and infrastructure, but we can go back and answer any of those questions that you might have. Go ahead.
Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had a comment that certainly doesn't affect, like, how I would vote on the trips. My comment would be just going forward that I think that we should not include the dates of the trips on here, because I feel that while the students are in school, we're very concerned about their safety. We've taken extreme measures for their safety, but now we're kind of putting out to the public where we're going to have our children and when and what time. So I think if it's possible to just approve the actual trip, that maybe the date should not be public. Just a thought that I had.
And then that's a concern Ms. Kenny raised to me prior to the meeting, and it's one that Ms. Hill and I briefly discussed, and we're going to go back to our auditors and check and make sure that we can do that. But I agree, something I never thought of. So we'll go back to our auditors, and if our auditors do not have a problem with this, not putting the date, and just approving the trip location or any costs included with it, we'll go ahead and, starting with our next meeting, we'll no longer put the dates on there.
And the other point to that too, if between our auditors and our insurance company, if these items don't specifically require board approval, maybe we could just get them as a backup piece of information.
I believe that they do. I think we do need your permission for both of those reasons, by the way. For liability purposes as well as for cost purposes. We do need to have them approved if we're going to be spending Board of Education funds on them. But I'm not sure whether we need to have you approve the date of them.
Right.
Maybe you could give us the date and then remove it from the public
Could be.
portion?
Yeah.
Because I think we would like to see the dates and know when the kids are,
Okay.
I would.
So we could figure out a system for that.
That's all I have. In order, out of order, it's all my
Okay,
notes have.
that's fine.
What I got.
We're a free-flowing body here.
Point of order.
Sorry.
Mr. Glock-Malloy is staying up with us, so.
Okay, very good.
Speaking of Mr. Glock-Malloy, Vision 2030 Governance, number 2, we're asking you to approve the Information Systems and Data Management Specialist job description. That is a revision, by the way, of an older job description that would be the Student Information Manager.
Yeah, Student Systems Information Manager.
So you can find that on page 16, and of course, that is an attachment. Any questions?
This isn't a new position, this is just a
It's a revision of
redefining
an older position,
of an
yes.
existing position.
It does have a new title, though.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing none, I'll move to personnel. Numbers 1 and 15, we're asking you to approve the retirements of some very special people here. I only have, because we did get some retirements in just a little bit later, I only have one write-up for a person that is retiring, but I can promise you that we will be honoring Anne Marie Malinaski, a paraprofessional at the Arla School, during our next meeting, as well as Ellen Rice, a cafeteria worker here at the high school. But we do congratulate both Anne Marie and Ellen on their retirement. We wish them nothing but the best. But again, I'll read a more in-depth statement about both of them during our next meeting. So we'd also like to congratulate Mary Dulski. She's a second grade teacher at the Truman Elementary School, and we can congratulate her on her retirement. With her retirement, Mary Dulski will be completing 30 years in public education. After graduating with a dual degree in elementary and bilingual education, Mary commenced her career in Perth Amboy, teaching a bilingual combination class of grade 1 and grade 2 students. After 3 years in Perth Amboy, Mary came to Sayreville and stayed here with us for 26 years, especially at the Truman Elementary School. For over a quarter century now, she has worked with students and parents enriching their lives. Mary has been constantly called upon to help the Truman School staff to translate conversations and documents, as well as in educating us regarding the culture of Spanish-speaking residents. She always wanted to teach the child that other teachers found difficult to understand. For Mary would work compassionately and relentlessly to see things that others just, couldn't see. Mary also kept a wide open mind to situations and would always try to understand a child within the context of their given family. These are the skills honed over time by dedication and passion. Mary Dulski will be a model for her colleagues at the Truman School to follow, a very difficult one. So once again, we congratulate Mary, Anne Marie, Ellen on their well-deserved retirements, and we wish them nothing but the best in all future endeavors. And moreover, we thank them for the incredible service that they have provided this district and, most importantly, our students. Numbers 8 as well as 17 and 19, we're asking you to appoint some new certificated and non-certificated staff, including, but not limited to, a very special person that I'd like to introduce to you right now, and that is the person that we are recommending to you, Board of Education, to be the next principal at the Sayreville War Memorial High School, Mr. Dale Rubino. And sitting to the left of Dale is his lovely wife, so we congratulate her and we welcome her as well. I made a point of expressing to our board and our community that we would turn over every stone and we would take the time that we needed to find who we believe is the perfect person for this position. And having had the privilege to work with Mr. Rubino for 4 years before he left us to go to Spotswood to be the high school principal there, I have always been impressed by his hard work, meticulous attention to detail, and his leadership style. Moreover, I've been inspired by his dedication, his compassion, his flexibility, and of course the sacrifices that he makes on any given day to promote the success of his students, whether they were his students here in Sayreville or his students in Spotswood. And I really believe that we are very fortunate to be able to find a professional of his caliber, a leader of his quality, and of course a human being that possesses the amazing abilities that Dale has. So Board of Education, we are recommending Dale Rubino to be the next principal at this Sayreville War Memorial High School. Number 11, we're asking you to approve some advisors and their stipends for the 2019-20 school year. You can find that on pages 20 and 21. And number 22, which you can find in the addendum. Mr. Nasser is at it again. We're asking you to approve the employment of different personnel, our coaches and our advisors for our unified sports program. This will be our summer track program, and it was referenced earlier. If you didn't have a chance to come out to our March Madness spring basketball tournament, it was, again, another amazing opportunity to watch our students with intellectual disabilities compete against and with their typically developing peers. The sportsmanship, the camaraderie, it was just breathtaking and quite memorable. So I'm looking forward to the same experience with the group of coaches that he is asking you to appoint on number 22.
I'd just like to add, I was there, and I'm always a big fan of it, and I got to say, every year it gets better. It really does. And if you haven't got a chance to go out and see a unified thing, it's
Wait. It wasn't good when I did it? every
It
year
was
gets
all right.
better?
It was all right. No, it's been getting better every year. It was good when you did it too. I always rave about it, but it's been getting better every single year, and the cheerleaders are involved. I mean, and it just seems to be becoming a bigger, more inclusive thing. I'm seeing more and more of our typical students there, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger deal to our special needs students. It's a great day, and I look forward to the track one in the spring.
Me too. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Any more comments or questions with regard to personnel?
Dr. Labby, on the retirements for Mary Beth Comerford and Teresa Waters, that's June 1, that's, the date's correct?
So basically, you previously approved you previously accepted their retirements, but I believe due to legislation that just came out, that it was just signed into effect, they are now asking you to, in a sense, approve a revision to their retirement date to June 1st.
Got it.
And the legislation pertains to retired health benefits for retired people.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you. And then the only other thing I want to comment on, Mr. Rubino, I know that you're a Spotswood graduate. I know you're the Spotswood High School principal, but welcome home. We're very glad to have you back here in Sayreville. As we talked earlier, and I know from your time here in Sayreville, I think what I'm most excited about is the cultural fit, you know, being a bomber and that piece that you're going to bring to Sayreville War Memorial High School. As you can tell from the punchiness of our superintendent, your arrival is long awaited. He's been doing two jobs for a while, and it's getting challenging. So we're definitely looking forward to having you back, and we know that you're going to do a great job. And the big asset that you bring is the fact that you were here. You know what our school is about. You know the values that we have. You know the culture. And then you've also had a chance to go out and see other districts and be a principal, and hopefully you'll also come back with some additional ideas from outside of Sayreville that would be a fit here as well. So thank you so much, and in all seriousness, I do also have to say you've definitely got a tough act to follow, because Dr. Labby has done a tremendous job with the high school over the last 4 months, and I know will continue to do so through June 30th. But we look forward to having you back. Any other comments on the personnel?
Yeah, Erin, on page 18, number 5, abstain on Victoria Kilpatrick.
Okay, noted.
Any other comments on the personnel? Okay. Dr. Labby, anything else?
That's it, sir.
All right, thank you. Any comments on the superintendent's report? Hearing none, I'll open it up to public for let's try that again. I'm getting punchy now. I'll open it up to public for any questions or comments on the superintendent's report or any agenda item. Okay, hearing none, we'll close public, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the superintendent's report.
So moved.
By Mrs. Bloom, do I have a second? Second. By Mr. Callahan. Any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Balco?
Yes, except items noted.
Mrs. Batco?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mrs. Kenny?
Yes.
Ms. Rubio?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Syak?
Yes, with the abstentions noted. Okay, moving on to our committee reports. Any committees that have met that wish to give a report?
Got a couple.
Okay.
As always, I will be brief. Okay, so finance and infrastructure. The Arlith windows, almost complete. A couple things here and there, and that'll be done. They look great. I know we spoke about the track, so I won't get into that. The baseball field, we have a timeline, but I'll just give you the start date is May, end of May, early June, and the completion date is scheduled for no later than September. So they'll be ready to play Bomber baseball next year. As you all know, we spoke about it again, the vestibules will be, I believe construction starts during break. It will continue through and will be completed at the high school, UES, and middle school by September 1st. And what else? Oh, the middle school locker rooms and the Truman School petitions. Both construction will begin in the summer and completed by September 1st. So that's finance and infrastructure. Any questions or? Nope.
Okay.
Go on to security?
Sure.
Okay. So we had it was a first meeting with our new director of security, and he gave us a brief overview of the new full-time and part-time campus security monitors. In in his opinion, in his words, they're doing an amazing job from the get-go. They hit the ground running, so he's very happy with the hires, and we have a terrific staff in place, according to Jeff. The metal detectors going better than expected, actually. Obviously, that the stress test from that point to this point, we keep learning, things keep getting better, and we just improve the processes as we go along, but things are as smooth as can be. So we're happy about that also. Commencement ceremonies. So we bantered about different policies and things we wanted to do as far as bags, but we came to the conclusion that we're going to do the same thing as we did last year. No pocketbooks or bags or backpacks allowed, just clutch bags, as they call them, the small bags. I'm presuming Dr. Labby will go out and tell the public, over the next couple of months, just like we did last year.
Yep.
So last year worked out great. I don't anticipate any problems this year. And let's see. No, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's just a couple of issues that we spoke about that we could, we really can't detail in public. But just so everybody knows, we're continuing to do everything we possibly can to keep the kids and staff safe. That's it.
And if you don't mind me chiming in there a little
Please
bit,
do.
Mr. Esposito, I know that it was mentioned earlier that it's taking, about 5 minutes for kids to go through the detectors. It's actually not. At no point now, particularly in the bus area, which is by far the most crowded area, when the kids coming in off their buses, are there any students actually outside of the vestibule. I tracked a child coming in during the height of arrival, when we have the most kids, and it took this young lady 1 minute and 3 seconds to make her way into the door and through during the most congested time of arrival. So at the tops, it's taking a little bit more than 1 minute for us to get our kids through those detectors. So I'm real proud of the way in which our campus security monitors have mastered the procedures involved in it. In addition, I'm very, very proud of all of our students as they come into the building very prepared. They put all of the belongings that will go off if they go through the detectors in their bags, and they unzip their bags for us so that we can quickly check their bags and get them through. So with those combined efforts, we are able to screen 1,800 kids without causing a disruption to their day.
Sounds like TSA should come visit us.
Outstanding.
All right, any other committee reports?
I have student achievement.
Yes.
Student achievement met on March 26th. We talked about the student learning assessments that are going on this week. Under curriculum, that was a big part of our day. We talked about everything that's been revised since 2018 and those still under revision. The new middle school courses are being worked on as well as their course description. We have a list if the board wishes to see them sent by Dr. Shediak as to those that are completed or not completed, or in the process of being completed. Standards will be revised by the supervisors. And at the high school, Middlesex County College has approved 2 additional courses at the high school for college credit. Spanish 3 aligns with Middlesex County College's Spanish 1. Spanish 4 aligns with their Spanish 2. In paying a fee, students may earn 3 credits for each course while still at Sayreville War Memorial High School. And we discussed the summer programs, the ESL, Camp XL, summer enrichment beginning July 1st, and middle school credit completion for language arts, math, either science or social studies as needed. And you should know that students cannot be absent for more than 2 days during that summer session, or it will not count for them. And our next meeting is actually the 23rd of April. And that's it. Any questions?
No, but can I add something to that too? I had the opportunity to actually see the course descriptions that you referenced. They're amazing. The job that Mr. Glahusky, Dr. Shediak, content supervisors, assistant principals, and teachers that were involved in this project did was amazing. And I'll make sure that we send a copy of the course description to all of you, from the creation of the courses to the alignment of those courses with the New Jersey State Learning Standards, and the description and layout of them. It's perfect. So I'll make sure you guys get a copy of that. But my commendations to all of those people, particularly Mr. Glahusky, in leading this endeavor.
I think that at the last meeting, we talked about varsity letters for different organizations, and that was something that was going to come to the Achievement Committee, but we didn't discuss it at this last meeting. So
Yeah, that came from the Superintendent's Parent Advisory Council.
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about
That's something we
discussing
can talk
it in
about.
student achievement, and then.
Well, I think we talked about it briefly because we noted that there were some extracurricular activities that do get varsity letters, like
Right.
marching band and choir.
Right.
But yeah, we do have to discuss more so that we can make a recommendation to the governance committee
I
to
made a
change
note of that
policy
one,
to
too.
include that.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Okay. Also, SPAC, Superintendent's Parent Advisory Council, met as well?
That was back in March,
that's
and
not-
I
okay.
do believe Mrs. Rubio
At the
provided a
last-
report
okay, so
during
you
the
just
March
sent out
19th
the
meeting.
minutes, got it. Any other committees that have met? Just an update for the public, as I already shared with the board, Mr. Esposito, myself, and Dr. Labby met with North American Properties, who is the developer behind Riverton, to try to get an idea of how that process is going to unfold. Right now, they're looking at housing developments coming in starting in the fall of 2022 in terms of being ready for occupancy. We're looking at about 1,000 total apartments, about 500 total townhomes, be a combination of one-bedroom, two-bedroom, three-bedroom. Given a lot of the logistical challenges that they're having there, I would not be surprised, and this wasn't said, this is only my own opinion, I would not be surprised if that timeline slips and you might be looking at the fall of 2023 or maybe the spring of 2023 with regard to occupancy. But that's something that the board will have to take into account from planning purposes. We are still slated to get, as part of the agreement, $19 million towards the impact associated from a capital standpoint, i.e. buildings, facilities, et cetera. We need to work to better understand the structure of how that money is going to be transmitted to us. As we understand it, and I clarify it as we understand it because I'm not even sure in that meeting, we didn't have a lot of financial expertise that are well-versed in redevelopment finances in that particular meeting, but as it was explained to us, basically what will happen is as these properties come online, these properties will begin paying the payment in lieu of taxes amount, of which a portion of that amount goes to the schools. That money will start coming in annually over a 30-year period. The borough will basically issue bonds to give us a lump sum for that amount and then use the pilot amount payments on an annual basis to service the debt. We don't know how that factors in with regard to interest on the debt. We're not sure of the mechanics of getting that there. We know that that entire $19 million will not be available all in one shot. We know that $19 million will not build a school even if it was all available in one shot. We also know even if it could build a school all in one shot, that would not leave us with any money to staff it, especially with the 2% property tax cap. So there's a lot of discussions that need to continue with regard to this. I had suggested to Dr. Labby it's probably a good idea for us to retain our own financial advisor who has expertise with regard to redevelopment financing, whether that's our current financial consultant that we have on the books or someone else. So we'll be looking at those options to proceed. Any other committees that wish to give a report? All right, the delegate for New Jersey School Boards Association, our delegate assembly will be after our next meeting, which is on May 7th. So I will be sending out to all of you the resolutions that will be for consideration, and we can get the board's feeling on those resolutions at our next meeting, and then I'll vote accordingly at the May delegate assembly. Any other items for discussion? Yes, Mrs. Bloom.
Yeah, hi. New Jersey School, the Middlesex County School Board Association Executive Board met with Senator Deignan yesterday morning, and what we discussed was the funding for special education. And according to the representative from school boards, Christopher Jones, it's generally considered to be 15% of your school population. However, that doesn't hold true for all districts. So what they are trying to do is to get it for actual census, like actual number of special ed kids that you have, so that the funding will be, equitable to the children that we're trying to educate. So the senator asked Christopher to come up with some kind of a resolution that he could put before the legislature to try and help facilitate that. I also took the opportunity to mention Chapter 78 to him and the teacher's pension. And this morning up at Woodbridge, there was a ceremony from the Military and Veterans Association of New Jersey, where my husband got a medal for his Vietnam service. And Craig Coughlin was there, and Assemblywoman Lopez, who is from Perth Amboy, and I took the opportunity to speak to both of them about Chapter 78 and the pension as well. So I'm trying.
Okay. First of all, congratulations to Mr. Bloom, and thank you for his service. Please extend our thanks.
He looked so cute in those bell bottoms.
With regard to the special education piece, what number was, in terms of the 15%, is he looking for any student who's even classified, for example, with either an IEP or a 504? What number was he looking for?
I'm not sure. I think any special ed
student receiving services?
Right, that needed services.
Okay.
And they were saying, you can't say it's 15%. They want it to be by the actual census of students. So they want the actual number.
So what
Not just
percentage
saying-
of our students are receiving services?
We're around 17%, David? So, I guess that is the reason why people are lobbying the state to change, because we're only getting credit for 15% of our student population, when 17% of our population, has, some form of special needs.
And that's so even if I'm a straight A student, but I have I need speech therapy, that would be part of that 17%?
Sure, those are special services that you would receive.
Okay, got it. All right,
Thank you,
thank you,
Mr.
Mrs.
Nestor.
Bloom. Any other, thank you, Mr. Nestor. Any other items for discussion?
I would just like to add that the cheer coaches offered to teach me how to do a cartwheel. So if they can succeed in something that no one else has been able to do in almost 50 years, I will do one here.
Wow.
And then you'll
All right.
know how great those coaches are. They brought those girls to championship.
They get John
And
Walsh.
if they get me to do,
Putting you
oh,
down
they get
for
John to do a cartwheel.
We're
All right.
putting you down for, listen,
How much time do you need? Should we put you down
Well, I'm giving
September
myself
meeting?
2 years.
I took
2 years? Okay.
I got
Myself
2
2
A's in
years.
gymnastics at college.
So we'll put you down for 2 years,
Yep,
and not that I doubt our coaches, but Ms. Hill, please raise our liability insurance.
And that better not be one of my goals.
All right, anyone else with comments? All right, hearing none, we'll open it up to public for any item concerning the district. If you wish to speak, please come to the microphone and state name and address for the record. And hearing none, we will close public. If you celebrate Passover, have a happy Passover. If you celebrate Easter, have a happy Easter. If you don't celebrate either of those, enjoy your spring break, and we will see you back when school resumes. Our next meeting is on May 7th. That will also be our public hearing on the budget. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
By Mrs. Bloom, do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Walsh, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.